Okay, so we are doing some work on my Autopilot motor today. I've got the motor in a bracket that I took off an old Autopilot hull that I had to have replaced. So that was nice to have that backup, but you can do this also in directly in your kayak. You just put your kayak up. I didn't want to do all that lifting, so I just built that little bracket, or built the board, mounted the bracket to it. So the plan today is to replace the Autopilot drive steering motor kit. That looks like this right here. Like, I think it was $170 with shipping and everything. So not a cheap rebuild, but a necessary one. So my motor was creaking. A lot of people have issues with it. I guess the salt water gets in there after a while. This is actually the second one I've had to replace. The first one I didn't do myself. I took it into the shop around here, and then I had them do it. This one I'm going to do myself, though. So I got some nice set of instructions. Came with the unit, and also Old Town customer support sent me a virtual one as well. So I have those up, and the tools that we need for this rebuild, they say it right here. Let's go to the front. We need safety glasses. Well, I'm not doing that today. Number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, X-Acto blade, needle nose pliers, a 4-foot cam buckle strap, which is already I have it looped around the motor here. A heat gun, lighter, or a torch. I've got a lighter. Rubber band I didn't grab yet, but I'll grab that. And then I got a small tube of super glue. I'm not sure what that's for, but it says it's optional. But we're going to go through it. It looks okay. Basically the steps, we'll see how it is. But the steps are going to be that I need to take this head off. After taking the head off, I'm going to compress down the bracket, the housing, and then take this ball out. After that ball's out, I am able to drop the motor down through the old drive steering motor, and then I can take I'll have to take this cover out too. Electronics cover apparently I gotta take off as well. But then I can take all that off and replace this unit, rewire it, and then do the same process in reverse. So that's the plan. Let's start off. I didn't want to do this out in my shop because there's so many pieces, and my shop has a not the greatest floor on it, so it would be kind of hard. If I drop something, I'd probably lose those pieces, so I didn't want to risk that. So I'll just keep you up. First thing, there's a few screws right down here that I'm going to take out. That are gonna I think it's just those two back here. This one and this one on this side that I'm going to take out, and that'll expose the electronics in the head. That's where we need the number 2 screwdriver to get in there. I think I have enough room to get in there, so I just slightly compress that just so I can get my screwdriver in here. There we go. That's 4. So now it says separate the iPilot control head from the base. So I need to take this off. Okay, this is what we're looking at. The connections I need to remove. It says cut off this heat shrinking on this connection between the head and the base. So yeah, so it wants me to take the X-Acto knife, cut off this heat shielding, and then or the shrink tubing, and then there should just be a pin connection like you have on the power for your fish finder. Now that I know basically how thick it is, I can kind of sneak in there, go most of the way through that shrink sleeve, and then just crack it open. That's an easier one. So, just like that. So now we got both of them off. You can see that connection there. And as easy as that, we just unplug them. It should be easy to just unplug them. Just need to get a good grip on it. There we go. So then, these two are disconnected. Okay, so now it says I need to release the control head from the base. So there's a screw up front here, right there, that needs to be removed now. So I'm going to be doing that. That's again with a Phillips head screwdriver. Number 2. Let's see what's happening. So there's a nut in the back here. There we go. Got the nut out of the back. I'll push this through. May need something to push that farther through. I'm just going to get a little poker. Paper clip should work for this job. Yeah, you just need to get my fingers on it, and that comes right out. Alright, I'm going to put these together. Now it says, lift the control head off the base of the motor shaft. Rubber band the 2 control head pieces together and rest them beside the drive. Handy dandy rubber bandy here. So it says lift the head off the base. So we're going to basically pull them through these 2 wires because the wires go down through the shaft. Then we're going to rubber band the head together so it stays a nice tight little package. So let's do that. Let's lift away. Let's get these down through here. And together. Let's pull these out. Pull that through there, just like that. And put this back together, and like I said, just kind of stick it together and rubber band it up. Okay, now it's time to remove this ball, which should be no problem at all. I just had to do this when I replaced it. I thought this ball assembly was the issue last time. It was not. So it wants me to do the steering collar first, and then the ball. So this has 2 screws, actually 3 screws. It wants me to do this side screw first. So there's a screw on the side, and this screw on the side, right here. This keeps the steering collar aligned with the shaft to where it needs to be aligned. And then next there's a ball with 2 bolts here, well, screws here with nuts on them, and they're opposite direction, so I'll have to remove one on each side. And the nuts are nylon locking nuts that are held right in here, so I don't have to worry about having a socket on the back side of that. So we loosen those up. Oh, sorry, I gotta start with this. Same thing though on this collar. There are nylon locking nuts on the back side. And to get the bolt out. Now I'm gonna keep them together so I know which ones are with which one. We'll put that up here. Again, dropping them. Drop them like it's hot. Alright, open that up. And this one I'm actually going to put back together just partially, so I know which bolt or which screw and nut combination goes with which side. I mean, it's not necessary to keep them together, I don't think, but as long as I can, it'll remove some of the question later. So there, that's together. Now, like I did with that, there's the top upper piece. You do the same thing here. Screw out the screws on both sides. And then that should come apart. That was that one. There we go. And we have just like that. And now there's a middle piece here. I'm going to take apart. There we go. And then that's going to go in the ball, and you can see right where it fits in here. You can see right where it fits there. So now I have a fully exposed shaft. So now we can loosen the strap and we can let this come over the entire assembly. So we're going to do that. Actually, let me think about this. Yeah, compress it down, go over this. Basically, there's some weight there, right? Because I'm let that come straight up, and this should still hang here. Good. Good. And then I can just bring this right down through. Or not. So here's a case where the bracket I built isn't long enough to do what I need to do. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this out and then lift it through. And we'll just lift this through like this. Just like that. Okay, and we have our prop off of there. So I'm going to set this aside and get it to a safe place out of the way. So now it says, place drive on a bench so you can access the 6 screws. So I'm going to move the stuff that Old Town shipped me. Again, that's AP drive steering motor. The kit includes the motor itself and that heat shielding that I'm going to put back on the wires up top. I'm going to just put the heat shielding, actually I'm going to put this whole assembly to the side for now, and to make room on the bench. So this does put the entire assembly on a bench. So now it says that I should remove these 6 screws. Removing these 6 screws are going to allow, well, it's going to release the electronics cover and water shield from the adapter plate. So this must be maybe this is the water shield? I think this is the water shield. Let's see. Let's remove it and see what happens. Okay. There we go. We got a little dirt under there, so it's good to get that out. So this I'm going to set out of the way. I'm going to set that right down here. It says the electronics shield can be unplugged at the voltmeter if I want. Then I can flip this around. And we're gonna lift. Okay. The electronics shield can be unplugged from the voltmeter if you want to move it out of your way unplug the quick connectors to the voltmeter. So these are the quick connectors there. I think I'm going to do that. Black on black, red on red, easy breezy. Okay, yeah. So the one side, this is a piece on the one side. You seeing that? Yeah. That's this piece on the one side, and then this is the female end. In this case, this is the female end, and this is the male end over on this side. And that's what those connections look like. So we're going to place that out of the way as well. So now it says find and unplug the two quick connectors coming from the steering motor on the control board harness. So control board harness and the quick connectors coming from the steering motor. Okay, so this is what they want me to unplug. Make note of the routing of the steering motor wire. You will want to retrace this route with the replacement. So we're noting that it's so you can see how it's running down here and through. So that will be what I'm going to be replicating. So I'm going to disconnect those. Not sure which end they disconnect out from. Looks like you can kind of tell which end is built into what, I think. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell one end is a fully molded piece. So the pink piece, they're also different colors. So you'll be able to tell by the different colors where to pull apart on these little guys. There we go. Okay, pull the E-clip off one end of each of the steering motor mounting pins. Here what they're wanting me to do is take these what are they called? E-clips off of one end of the steering motor mounting pins. So both pins. Withdraw the pins, making sure to note the locations and orientations of any bushings on the pins. So now I think the bushings they're talking about are right here and also here. E-clips, they're using needle nose pliers to just kind of pop them off. So let's try that. Okay. Kind of lever it up. Yeah, you can just lever them off. So again, I'm just sticking my needle nose pliers in the hole there, and I'm levering against the bolt. And it pops right up. And always into weird cracks and crevices. This is why I'm doing it in our spare bedroom. Now we take this and we push these through. And this is where we need to note the orientation of those bushings. So we're going to do this very carefully. Okay, so there's a bushing on each side, I think. That's what I'm seeing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So two bushings, they came off. Okay. So now I think I can set this aside. And I can take this part out. Okay, and then there's a couple of big bushings here. Squeeze the sides of the cord grip and push out, releasing the cord grip from the adapter plate. I'm supposed to squish this. Oh, yeah. And now, again, squeeze the sides of the cord grip and push outward, releasing the cord grip. It looks like it's showing squeeze it inside and push. Oh yeah. Yeah, perfect. So you just squeeze that together like that. Okay, now I'm pulling this out. And we have a disassembly. Okay, now I have to do everything in reverse. So I believe, can I pull that out? I can get that out, yeah. Oh, look at this pretty new drive unit. What do we got? The cord is tucked up in here real nice. So this came down like this. And then they had it wrapped. They had these put on like this. Oops. Let's open that up. Let's get them through. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so this one's off. I'm going to set it to the side. I'm probably going to open this up to see what is going on in there and what the problem is. Maybe I can refurbish that one. But let's stick this in. Beautiful. Okay, so first we want to get the wires back through the hole. Right through there. And then we can bring this down closer. A little closer. Bring that together. And then we can go. I'm not going to fully assemble this quite yet because I want to make sure I have enough cord running. Go. Easy. So you just gotta get the squeeze on it. Hopefully this is long enough. I think it will be. Let's see. Let's get this in here like this. Okay, so now we're gonna assemble this. I'm gonna put this bushing back in. Okay, get that bushing in place. The other bushing is in place. And now it's a matter of holding that whole assembly in place while bringing this into place. These bushings are actually supposed to go on the inside. Yeah, this bushing is going on the inside out. So on the piece with the gas spring, the bushings go inside out. The piece with the housing, they go also inside out. They're all falling out. This is a challenging part here. How do I get them to stay in? Y'all are probably laughing at me right now. I need more hands than I have. Wiring problem. Okay. Maybe I should put the back one in first. Let's get this one in first. We got bushings there, we got bushings there. Good. This one. This may be the trick. There we go. There we go. That's one step. What can I do here? Put something sticky on the bushing? So I don't want to put something sticky on the bushing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some tape on the bushing. All right, let's see if we can get this in here. Okay, I got those in. Got those bushings on. I just need to align everything. Put this in. There we go. Got that through. I've got to line the drive unit. Okay, we're going through it. All right. And let's see, another half a quarter inch. There we go. All right, I just gotta find the way through there. And now we can clip it up. So squeeze those on. Squeeze this one on. Got that on there. Okay. Let's rewire. Is that next? Yes, I think rewiring is next. So that black with black, white with white. Black, white with white, good, we're good there. Okay, so they say, where I use the tape there, they said if bushings do not align or to stay in, then you can use a drop of super glue. Okay, so now reassembly. So now we're gonna reassemble this. So just like we had before, we're gonna lay this like that. We're going to connect these two. Look at how they're, I assume it goes like this. Oh no, it's actually, it probably goes like that. That's right. I'm going to go like this. Okay, so that's connected. And then we're gonna go like this. Place everything back together. Just nicely, hopefully. Just like that. There we go. Okay, now we turn this back up on its side again. Actually, I'm going to turn it over again. Okay. Now, we should have alignment for putting those 6 screws back in place. Here are those 6 screws again. They should lay right in there. Reassemble. And whenever you're reassembling an array of screws like this, I think most people know this, but you want to only partially tighten, like not even tighten them. You just want to get them in and aligned, all the screws of the array. You just want to get them in partially. Then, now once all of them are in, then you go through and you tighten them up one by one. So you want them, that helps with alignment. And it'll help have a snugger fit, or more snug fit. And then what you'll notice is when you go back to certain ones, they'll be loose again. And you just snug them up a little bit more. That one was loose again. That one was a little loose again. That one, yep, that one was loose again. So it releases the stress in whatever you're bolting down or you're screwing down. There we go. I feel good about that. Okay. Now it's time to bring the motor back through, and we're gonna put this on like this. Oops. Well, that rubber band didn't work. It did. I was just too rough with it. Alright, so those wires up. And then bring this down in. Now we can think about putting this back in here. Because now it should be able to just snap in here. And snap in there. Good. So good. Now I can get the strap on this. So here, I'm going to need to compress that air spring while bringing up the motor. I think that's just enough to get my work done. This goes together in a very specific way, and you're supposed to tune the tightness to allow for this to slip before you damage your steering motor. Again, the plan is just to get this on for now. Leave that like that. Now I'm going to reassemble this piece. Maybe I can also slip this right over the top. I already have this started, so if it's possible to slip these right over the top, I'm going to do that. Okay, and again, there's two things here. There's something I didn't notice here before. There's a screw that goes in the side. And then there's a hole on this side where on the inside of this there's a plastic piece that goes into that hole, so it aligns nicely into there. Self-aligning, which is fantastic. There we go. There, that's locked in. I'm going to snug those up. Side screws. Okay, that's locked in. Now I'm going to snug up these other ones. That's snug. That's snug. Re-snug this. Yep, perfect. Now this I can then index up nice and tight and tighten these up. Okay, let's put the head back on. And before I start this up, I'm going to say a little prayer. That all the wires are terminated properly, that's what I'm worried most about here, I guess, is that I didn't terminate a wire correctly or something. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually not going to put the I'm gonna put the shrink sleeve here. I'll show you. Right now I'm just putting the bolt, obviously, that goes under and through. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna not put the shrink sleeve. I'm not gonna shrink the sleeve, because if I need to go back in there, I don't want to have to go through that again. I can just there we go. Then it'll be easier to re-disassemble, because that's what I'll have to do if it doesn't work. Okay, so now that's on. So now, like I said, I'm going to take those two shrink sleeves that I got in this kit right here. I'll pull this off so you can see. I'll put it this way. Basically, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to slide them on, because I know I'm gonna come back in here. Slide one on there, slide the other one on here. I'm gonna connect them, I'm gonna cover them, but I'm not gonna shrink them. So like we did before. Put that in. Did before. Put this in. Black with black, red with red. Okay, now I'm just gonna see how I'm just covering them, because I'm not doing any more than that before I go test this. So let's go test it. Okay, we are out and about. All right, let's give it a test. Oh, we got beep. We got beepage. Seems to be turning. Okay, I think I can put it back together. We have turning, we have running, we're good to go. Okay, let's show you the final step. I realize I should probably do that. So the final step is I'm gonna shrink up this this tubing, this heat sealing. Now that I know everything is working okay. Okay, now that I have burns on both my thumbs. All right, then last step is obviously bolting this back together, this head. There we go. And double check this one. That feels like it's done, and that's fixed. Thanks for checking out the video. We have a functioning motor. Let's see how it does this weekend. Gonna go chase some speckled trout. See you out there.